Why do you think it was like you guys that were chosen in a sense, like you and Loic? I don't know Loic's record, but your record is one of the probably best amateur records out there. I mean, all first round finishes. You're like exactly what they're looking for. I don't know if you were still 30 at the time, but right at that perfect age too. So, I mean, what was the reason? Were you guys not like UFC veterans and they were going for that on the show? Or why did they kind of choose you guys? What do you think?
You know, I can't speak from his side of things because
Yeah.
he's a veteran. Or well, yeah, I guess you're right. He would have been on the because now you're right. He was not a UFC veteran, but he's a
Right.
PFL.
Yeah.
I've seen him. He fought a friend of mine, Alex Martinez, and he's fought on big shows before. So, but you're right. He's never been in the UFC. So I can only speak for myself on that, and that's that. When I got there, I was 6-0, at the time. So uh, early on, one of the producers was like, okay, hey, there's a lot of guys with a lot of experience. So make sure you know your interviews, make sure that put your best foot forward. He's like, you have a great story. We know you can hang with these guys. But the only thing is like, there's guys here with 30 fights, and you've only got 6 fights. So you got to
Okay.
stand. I took that as, okay, let's go. And I killed my interviews and they told me so, and this was like early in the quarantine at the hotel that this is going on. This is like first, second day, we were
Mhm.
there for kind of like, storylines playing out all the way to that last day and that last night. So and they went to the Ultimate Fighter house the day after that. Like the next morning is when they took him. So
Oh, I see.
apart from me, that's when filming started, was the next morning.
Okay.
Uh, but anyway, to go back to the why, I can only guess, and my guess is that one of the guys that he brought was 5-0 at the time. So I'm assuming that because there was so much depth that they were like, okay, we're only going to have they're going to have like one rising low record prospect. You know what I mean? That, like you
Mhm.
said, like whatever else, and then the rest of the guys are going to be guys like Jason Knight with a shitload of fights, and a few other guys that I know on there that are over 10 fights in their pro careers, things like that. And for me, it's just been shitty too because I've had 6 opponents pull out of me week of the fight in my professional career, like 2 that I made weight for. So
Mhm.
being a 7-0 should be 13-0 right now as far as I'm concerned, but it's just been bad luck, and that's the fight
Wow.
game. So
Yeah.
I'm saying you're not, you've got less experience, and honestly, this other kid they brought in is probably less experienced than me, dude. I've been doing this since I was a little kid, man. I just have made bad decisions that have made this moment take a little longer than it should have. You
Okay.
know, little little thing that makes me even a little bit more frustrated with the situation. But to answer your question, yeah, man, I think that's what it was that his young and up and coming prospect buddy took my slot. That's my best guess.
Mhm. I actually heard something too where oh, I forget which Ultimate Fighter it was, but when you come in and you make demands and stuff, they may give you your way. But I'm curious if they matched up McGregor's guys against like some of the. Oh, this is what it was. Did you hear Henry's coach Cejudo? He talked about why him and Brandon Moreno aren't friends anymore, and it was because he brought Moreno in, right? Like he went over Dana's head, brought in Moreno, and then so what they did is they pinned him to where like I think it was seeds, right? So if you got the first seed, then the bottom seed goes to the opposite team, and Moreno was the bottom seed. So it was like, and Cejudo had the first pick, so that they broke that friendship because like Cejudo went over his head. So I'm curious if they matched McGregor's guys up against like some tough guys because, like you said, they're less experienced than you even.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, man, I don't know I don't know. Here's the thing about that season. Every dude on that season's tough. That was another thing is like this season of the Ultimate Fighter is different in the fact that I mean they've had some veteran seasons before, for sure, but I feel like the talent level on this show is pretty high. And
Yeah.
if you look at guys that they brought in as vets, all those guys are tough, man. It's like Austin Hubbard, uh, Jason Knight. Who's the other guy, man? Tall guy. Can't remember his name right now. UFC vet. He's got like 4 bonuses in the UFC across like 7 fights. Roosevelt Roberts,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
Like it's a dude. The veteran side of things, you got your work cut out for you,
Mm-hmm.
And me, that was exciting because I get to prove myself. But I wouldn't be surprised to hear that his buddies fell on some tough lessons on this season.
Yeah.